put the powder in the glass. Pour an alcoholic beverage of your choice. I prefer whiskey. I also like to add a little bit of hot dog water to mine. It's just personal. Just find a nice sedentary position. Relax. And stay there. Couch body.
All right, we're launching off into space.
440 meters now separating the Soyuz from the International Space Station.
This is kind of crazy. Here we are, Interview Friday. Hello, everyone. We are starting out in space because we are watching an actor and a director floating out in space.
Soyuz with an actress, a producer, and a veteran cosmonaut
on
board, flying 260 miles over Mauritania.
Almost episode 300, that's right. Friday. Yeah, so it's a little weird, but there's a producer, director, and an actor, Russian in origin, going to the International Space Station to put on a show. I know. Who knew? Who knew we were going to have to go to space to get acting roles, huh? Hello, Kamala. Hello, Howard. Hello, Guignel. It's great to see everybody. Who are these people? We'll get into that. But today we have a fantastic guest. We have Michael Taylor Gray on the show. It's Saturday in Australia. Russian. Yes. There. Anyway, so let's take in our 3 deep breaths. Get on with this thing, because Michael's in there with Boney, and that gets a little weird sometimes. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go.
Just about completing its fly around.
One more, in through the nose, out through the toes.
Keeping.
I see Chuck Goldsmith is here. Welcome. I've got a background of his coming up. Let it go. I hope Michael is in the green room breathing, because he might need it today, live on Lunch Therapy. One more, in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. That's them docking with the station. You can see they've got their crosshairs, the docking station. They have to go. They have to hit it perfectly. Otherwise, they just go floating off into space, and I guess they'll make a movie, but no one will see it, I guess. So let's get on with the show. I got Michael Taylor Gray here. He and I went to CalArts together. This is a reunion of sorts. He is a broadcaster. Let me get into something that's a little less spacey. Well, here's the aforementioned background from Chuck Goldsmith. Yes, Michael Taylor Gray is on KPFK, the radio station here in Los Angeles. He is on the show that is called IMRU, which is a show that is based on what do I say? Like LGBTQI. He's gonna tell me, because I know there's more to it now. He's gonna tell me. Anyway, it's a great show that he has. It's been around. He's been on it since 2019, but the show's been around since the 70s. And I totally blew that LGBTQ thing, and we're gonna get into it. And Michael needs another toke. Yeah, he does, with me as a host. It's gonna be ridiculous. But let's get into it. We're gonna see something really fun here. It is a scene from a show that he does, and here it is.
I'm Joyce Adams. I'm a former teen model. I've auditioned unsuccessfully for American Idol 4 separate times, and now I help Parker run the 307th most popular children's pageant in the country, the Miss Star Eyes pageant.
I'm surprised to see you two working together again.
Most people are.
They're shocked, actually.
To see Royce working for me again.
Happily so. Hey, you! Patrick, be a sweetie. Go get us the tape measure. I want to make sure that is exactly 100 feet away from my pageant. Rochelle, for the billionth time, it's Beyonce, Beyonce, Rihanna, Beyonce. Not Beyonce, Beyonce, Mariah, Beyonce. I'm just so proud, Michael. You chose my pageant to come out at.
I think you mean come out too.
I can't die, Royce. I haven't finished my bucket list.
I have a few things left to do myself. Oh, your mouth kind of burns.
Yours tastes like a girl.
How would you know? Hey, Michael.
Hey.
You're looking real fine.
No.
Someone's been working out.
No.
You still married? Hey.
Hey.
Where you think you going?
Bye.
Bye.
Oh no, where'd we go?
I'm Royce Adams. I'm a former
Lost in space.
Oh, Boney really messed us up. We were totally lost in space there for a second. I don't know what happened. Boney, welcome, Michael Taylor Gray. I totally fumbled the LGBTQ thing. Can you please explain? Please help me out. Please bring me up to date with my nomenclature.
First of all, I was supposed to be on that Russian intergalactic Uber that took off into space.
I know. I mean,
So
would
I'm
you
just
do?
out.
Wait. Would you do that if somebody said, "Hey, it just got you the role of a lifetime, but you have to fly into space and go to the International Space Station"?
Yeah, I'd say when pigs fly.
You would. I think
And
I
then
would
I'd
too.
say they'll be parked in the trees by morning. Yes. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, why not? You keep the possibilities out there, absolutely.
I'm kind of claustrophobic. I think
if
I'd
that's the way
freak
I have
out.
to pay to get work, I'd go.
Do you know what it's about? It's about the film is called Challenge, and it's about a somebody in the International Space Station having a heart problem, and they have to send out doctors to save the person. It's a whole
It's
mission.
just gas.
And that turns out it's just gas. Yeah.
It's just gas. Yeah. My dad had that problem.
How are you doing?
No, I'm good. It's only been, 30 years?
I know. Isn't it crazy? You know, time condenses though when you meet somebody that you haven't seen in decades.
It does. I'm actually Benjamin Button. You met me in my 90s. I'm
You are. You're
actually-
looking pretty preserved.
Yeah,
pretty incredible
Very
preserved.
slow. Thanks. Formaldehyde. I switched out
Yeah.
my blood.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
can you
yeah,
please save me?
LGBTQI.
Yeah, please save me with that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and lesbian, LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and plus, for those within our community who haven't yet felt that they've been visible.
Yeah.
And I know that some people get very just perplexed and sort of just overwhelmed by the letters.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like, that's okay. That's okay. It's not about making you comfortable.
Right.
It's about
Uncomfortable.
providing visibility and recognition for others.
I
Yeah.
like it. I really like it. I'm sorry that I
Yeah.
fumbled it. I got to learn it. But it seems like it keeps getting
Okay.
things keep getting
Pick it
added
up
on,
and
and
learn
I'm
together.
just I'm a problem child. So tell me about that show. How long you been doing it?
What,
The radio program.
October 2019. My friend Vash Bodhi, who I worked with initially at the Celebration Theater in Hollywood, he was leaving town to go back to Philadelphia to take care of his mom. And he asked me, he was bringing in some new blood and asked me if I'd want to be a part of their pool of co-hosts. And it just turned out that I was the one who sort of stuck with it. And IMRU started in 1974 on KPFK.
Oh my
It's
God.
the world's longest running LGBTQI plus program of its kind, and I'm really proud to see it continue. And so it's a pure passion, project, so to speak, of my involvement. I don't get paid for this. We're Pacifica Network there at KPFK, so it's like public broadcasting, and it's all voluntary, except for the staff. And this week I'm doing a live show, like what we're doing right now, and as a fundraiser for the station.
Is that
So
at the
that gives me the
usual
fundraising-
time, Mondays at 7?
Well, Mondays is like, like I said, for those of us born in the 20th century, when we used to go, okay, don't call me at 8 p.m. I'm watching Murphy Brown.
Right.
Yeah. So Mondays at 7 is when we air on KPFK. You can either listen to it on the radio if you have one of those old-fashioned things.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can stream it from their website, kpfk.org. And then all of our shows are podcasts as well, and they're available on Castbox, Pocket Cast, Spreaker, iTunes, Anchor.fm, all over the place. So we make ourselves very accessible. I think it's really important that our voices in our community are shared amongst the greater, general media.
And I also feel like it's important to connect with young people, and show
people.
connect with the young people and show them
Yeah,
the
sure.
path.
Teeth back in.
Show them it's
The
okay
path.
to be whatever you want to be.
Time to testify.
So, okay. So, I want to ask you about that show, that clip that I just showed.
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
that?
yes. That was prettytheseries.com. Pretty the Series. And it was created by Steve Silverman. And he wrote every single one of those characters with each actor in mind. I just get this random email, or I think it was back then, before text.
Yeah.
And just said that, hey, I knew who he was, but I never worked with him. And he said, I've written this new show with this web series, and I've got a role with you in mind, and would you look at it? So I did, and I was like, oh my God.
It's a great role for you.
That's right in my wheelhouse. It's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we went on to do 4 or 5 seasons. We won a slew of various interweb awards, and I was nominated several times for Indie Series awards for Best Supporting Actor, and just had a ball during that whole, what at the time was a whole new format. So.
And can that be seen anywhere? Because people are asking.
I believe it's still available. You can go to probably YouTube if you just look up Pretty
I
the
looked
Series.
for it. I couldn't find it except for that, those clips, and I would love to see
Those
the rest
clips.
of it.
Yeah, he may not have posted. Yeah, I'll have to ask him about it if he's going to repost that, because it would be great to have the whole thing online again.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of fun.
You are a super talented person. You're one of those triple threats. Do you consider yourself a triple threat?
I'm a 2.5 threat, 2.25 threat.
2.25 threat?
Let me explain why.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Do you remember on Friends when Joey claimed he was a dancer?
Yeah.
And then he was taking a dance class, and the choreographer who was teaching the class got a phone call, and he had to excuse himself. He said, oh, Joey, would you take over the class?
Yeah.
And that's when you discover, and Joey did too, that he's not a dancer, right? Yeah. A friend of mine was producing an off-Broadway show called Zombie Prom, and this is when I was still living in New York. His name is Randall Reggett. Unfortunately, he's passed. But he brought me in to audition, and I was so thrilled, and did the singing, I did the acting, and then came the dancing audition. Mm-hmm. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it was like blah, 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 blah. I learned then that I can't learn choreography that fast.
That's
it
the
might take
hard
me a
part,
couple
right?
of weeks with these guys. Oh my God, yes.
How do they
it goes
do
so
it?
freaking. I don't, because dancers have muscle memory.
Yeah. And the rest of the world doesn't.
They've been training. So
Yeah.
right, and they learn moves. So they recognize those moves and they put them together in their head because they're so intrinsically part of their body, visual and then physical action. I didn't have that in my wheelhouse.
Me either.
There was no wood for that woodhouse. It was a thought. It was not even. Yeah, so I was like, not a dancer. Out of respect to dancers, I say not a dancer.
So
Love to
impressed.
dance, not a dancer.
How did
Yeah.
how did you come to acting in the first place?
Well, I remember as a kid sitting the closest to the television, of course, and we're watching a TV show called Adam 12 or one of those old like hospital and emergency type shows. And there was a medical doctor on the show who was having dinner with a pregnant woman, so you know what's going to happen at dinner. She's going to have that
give
baby,
birth. Yeah,
right? She's going to give birth, and she was in the middle. He's telling her, "Breathe, push." And I'm like, I'm 10 years old. My dad like goes, "Who's having a baby, you or her?"
You were like empathizing so much that it was like we were watching a boxing match, and you were like,
in the moment. I was like, I had taken Lamont's classes. I was pushing. I was going to have that kid with her.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I knew right then. I'm like, oh, okay. I never forgot that moment.
Yeah.
And it's just natural.
You know, Charles Goldsmith here brings up all that jazz. For me, it was like that too. Like I was growing up in Edmonds, Washington, and there wasn't any Bob Fosse anywhere nearby. And my parents took me to that movie, and I was little. But I was like so blown away that this guy, Roy Scheider from Jaws, was up there dancing, and just like, what the hell is going on? Like, and
that macho man was dancing,
right? I mean, and he was good. And I look back on it now, I see how kind of the magic of movie making. But he wasn't exactly Bob Fosse. But I was just amazed by that entire world. I'd never seen anything like that. And that was one of the things that made me want to be an actor. Just the fact that somebody could portray like all these different characters in this way and live these different lives on screen. That was one of the things that really excited me about it.
Oh yeah, well, I was fortunate enough. I'm the only one who had any kind of inkling of performing arts in my family. I think I was dropped by the mothership and left behind.
Where'd you grow up? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Canton, Ohio. The youngest of three boys. I'm the only girl. Do the math. Yeah, and so it's the bastion of football and baseball, and I love sports. I love all of it. I had a cousin who played for the Baltimore Orioles. And my dad coached one of my brothers in junior high, and they won the state championship. So it was really a part of our lives, and I just embraced it. I never fought it. I just didn't play.
Yeah.
And then I found the world of the speech team in high school. And that was my first taste of performing, and I never stopped from that point forward.
Wow.
I loved it.
From the speech team? What's that?
Yeah, the speech team was I did it's speech competition. I did dramatic interp. I did the zoo story, and that was my first piece that I did. Edward Albee, wonderful. Yeah. And then I did a duet scene with a young girl, one of my classmates from Street Charity. Yeah. Speaking of Bob Fosse, who choreographed.
Right.
Yeah. So and we it was wonderful. I had a great time with it. Macy Gray, whose name is Natalie McIntyre. She was a sophomore when I was a senior, and we were on the speech team together.
Really? Yeah. In Ohio?
Yeah, she went to high school. Yeah, she's from Canton, Ohio.
That is so cool.
Name dropper.
Name dropper. I love the name dropping. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I think people should do it more often. Can you tell me, did you add Gray to your name? Because when I knew you at CalArts, you were Michael Taylor.
I didn't do it because of Macy.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it because of Macy?
Gray,
was it because of Joel Gray, perhaps?
Well, funny you should say that. But his is EY. Mine's AY. Mine's gay with a That's how I say it. People remember that. They don't misspell it after that.
Gray with a round.
Gray was my round. I'm going to be on the Tonight Show one of these days. I'm going to say that.
Can't wait for that.
It's going to catch on. Yeah. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I am the original MTG. This Marjorie Taylor Greene. Spit when they. Yeah. Right. MTG. When you hear that, don't think of her.
Okay.
No.
No.
So Gray is my mom's family name. Taylor is my dad's family name.
Did you go and sign up for SAG or something? They were like, "There's already a Michael Taylor," and you're like, "Oh, I better put together my parents' names."
Well, right. Well, at that time, you couldn't join SAG. I don't know why I'm playing with my chin and looking at my face. I'm going to look at you. You're much more handsome.
Please.
So, please adore me. You couldn't join a SAG if you had the same name as somebody else. Yeah. Now you can if you have a legal name.
Oh, really?
Now you can't.
I had the same problem. There was already a Joel Marshall when I joined, and I was like, "Oh, I got to wait for that guy to die," I guess. And I think I did. I mean, I don't know what happened to him. Well,
Can you need some help with that?
I just waited. I didn't.
We know people.
Go the traditional route.
Yeah, right. No, yeah. So I went. So before I graduated from Cal Arts, I'm going. Okay, what should I do? How can I do? I'm like, okay, I could do maybe like Taylor Gray. No, that sounds like a car color. And I'm like, how about Michael Montana? Because I was born in Montana. I'm like, that sounds like a porn star. And and I'm like, what about Michael Taylor Gray? Da 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 da. It sounded like it has rhythm to it. It's easy to say. It's easy to remember. And a lot of people call me MTG.
I like it.
So I'm like, it works. Yeah, because my legal name is Michael Lawrence Taylor. But if you do the L, Michael Lawrence kind of gets garbled in your mouth.
Oh my God, I had the same problem. I was Joel, and my middle name's William, because there was already a Joel Marshall, so I had to go Joel William Marshall. I just feel like I'm swallowing the name the whole time.
I was going to say Louise, maybe. Joel Louise Marshall.
I should have changed
Joel Louise.
All right, I want to play this thing from Cast This, because it's hilarious.
Okay.
Now, you're a casting assistant in this show, and there's a casting director.
Begrudgingly so.
Let's let it go. Here we go.
Michael, are you out there?
No, I left for the day.
Oh. Well, when you come in tomorrow, could you get some more of those sticky note things? I think we're out. Maybe a bigger size this time?
They don't make them any bigger.
Oh. Well, that's stupid. You'd think if they could invent a piece of paper with glue on it, they'd invent a bigger piece of paper with glue on it. Could you come in here so I can stop feeling like a puppeteer?
More sticky note things. Got it. Color?
Yes.
No, I meant what color?
Surprise me.
Right. Anything else?
Did you get the mail?
What?
Did you get the mail?
No, I did not get the mail.
I love getting mail. It's almost like getting presents every day. Would you run and check it? Oh, and maybe a
coffee. Got it. Be right back.
Do you think? Oh, wait. Do you think that actors
too close to it.
Do you think actors like to make fun of casting directors? It's like cathartic for us in some way.
Well, it is in some way. But it's tough. Now that I've been on both sides of the table, sometimes when it comes to seeing that, and I encourage anybody, especially any actor out there, you should really try to work if you get the opportunity on various aspects of production to really kind of see where people are coming from. But it's tough because they have a very fixed viewpoint of what they're looking for, and they have a job to cast this production, so they don't have time to think creatively and look at you and examine everything that you can possibly do. Yeah. But at the same time, it's frustrating because we feel limited in terms of what we can bring to the table in any given moment, perhaps. And so you see that sort of played out in this production because there are quirks, definitely, in that we amplify in this production.
I have one here. It's a clip of Joe Fury early in the day, the famous actor Joe Fury, in a casting session, and I want to play that here for y'all.
Stupid actors don't staple their things together. All right, next. Next. Come in. Dave.
Hi.
Hi there. Do you have your picture?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, dear. I got one. It was in this pile, but oh well. It's Joel Marshall. Oh, you've done a lot of theater, Joel. Steppenwolf. Well, what did you do there?
I acted.
You acted? What about, this is an action film, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Do you have any experience in... You are certified in what? Pull back your hair a little bit, would you, dear?
Yes, certainly.
And turn around for me. Mm-hmm. I see there. Would you lift your shirt?
Excuse me?
Do you mind just lifting your shirt a little bit?
Lift my shirt?
Yeah, this is a romantic movie, you know. The ladies like to see the... That's enough. Okay, would you bend over for me and touch your toes?
I'm sorry, bend over?
Yeah, just bend over. I want to
okay.
see how agile you are, dear. The other way. The other way.
Bend over backwards?
No, put your back to me.
Okay.
Put your back to me. Now bend over.
Yes.
Touch your toes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. That's enough. That's enough.
Thank you.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I can tell by looking at you. You're perfect. Perfect.
Wow, that was a success story, wasn't it? He was perfect.
If I had $1 for every casting,
Yeah. That said I was perfect.
if I had to touch my toes one more time,
That was
I was just,
early days.
that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough, right? That's enough. Remember that when we used to have have to have like a headshot and a resume and all that stuff, and thank God we're past that. Just
Mine was always stapled, but
mine was yes, of course, stapled.
yes.
You know, and you had to staple it the right
You know,
way.
but you know, why you're going to show up and then really you're going to ask, can I borrow your stapler?
Remember all the conversations that would go on though about how to staple your headshot and whether you staple it this way and that way.
Oh
and
yeah,
how the
should you do one
resume
at the
should
top,
be,
one at the
where it should
bottom?
be. And
Should
remember how
go
you had
four
to cut?
corners?
You had to cut pieces of paper 8x10. Like they don't make paper 8x10, so you have to like cut it in
I
some
just
way.
say, you know, STFU. That's before we truncated language like that. We, you know, that means that.
I want to talk for you now. I want to talk with you now about the play that you did. That was Southern Baptist Sissies. Can you tell me about that? This is a play that ran for 10 months at the Zephyr Theater in Los Angeles, and then went to Dallas, Texas, and ran for another 6 weeks or something like that.
6 weeks. We had a 6 week. Every single performance was sold out before we opened.
Wow. So
yeah, Leslie Jordan was a part of that production. Ann Walker, Neil and Rosemary Alexander, Tate Taylor, who directed The Help and Get On Up. He was one of the 4 sissies. And I was the biggest sissy of them all, by the way. I know it's hard to believe. And that's the way he was written. That was really
Congratulations.
And then, yeah, right. And Sam McConkey, and Robert Louis Stevenson, which is really his name. He's now a casting director and commercial casting director, and he was the lead. And it was the story of 4 boys who grew up in the same Dallas Baptist church, and how they dealt with their burgeoning sexuality filtered through that religious experience. And it's written by the incomparable Del Shores.
Yeah, tell me about Del Shores. He seems like a whole, he's a playwright. He did Daddy's Dying.
He's a storyteller.
But yeah, okay, tell me more about him.
Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will was his first play that actually was made into a film. And Beau Bridges, Bonnie Bedelia, Beverly D'Angelo, who I have talked to personally on the phone, thanks to Del.
He seems to be like a community builder, this guy. Because it seems
he's a community builder. He's a family builder. And we're doing the Sorted Lives is one of his biggest hits, and that was made into a film and a TV series on Logo. And Delta Burke and one of the Golden Girls was on that show as well, the Blanche. And it just right. So and Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John has done maybe 6 or 7 films in her life. He's directed her in 2 of those.
Really? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so I was watching. There's like a live stream that you guys did, like a 20th anniversary or something. It just seemed like so much fun.
It's the 21st anniversary for the Southern Baptist Sissies, and so there have been 3 productions mounted over the years in Los Angeles. in addition to the film version that he entered into the Outfest and other film festivals. And so Del was launching his new foundation, the Del Shores Foundation. And he is wanting to encourage young LGBTQI plus Southern writers in any number of 15 Southern states to submit their projects that they're writing. And the person who gets chosen out of that pool will then get grant money to work on that project and see it to fruition. And any theater in whatever state that they're looking to have their production mounted, either a staged reading or a full production, or even just a workshop of it, then the theater also gets money to help them produce it as well. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful idea to encourage writers within our community, whatever age they are. Age has nothing to do with it.
The young people.
It's the prerequisites.
The young people can
Well, it's
come.
for anybody.
That's right.
Well, I'm 55 and I've written a musical over the last 8 months.
Really, you did?
I never saw it coming. Never.
Wow.
Never. Yeah, one of our Cal Arts instructors, Craig Belknap.
Yeah.
Whose cousin is Jules Pfeiffer, if you've ever heard.
Really?
Speaking of playwright. Yeah. Wow. And Craig, years ago, when he and a friend were launching a theater, forming a theater in New York, they wanted some resident playwrights. And so they went searching for some, and they ended up hiring two, bringing them in-house. One of them was Christopher Durang.
Yes. I love Christopher Durang.
Yeah. He launched his career. So Craig's got a lot of...
And also
gravitas when it
Sigourney
comes to
Weaver
writing.
and some other people were in that company too.
Oh, absolutely.
As well, right?
Beyond Therapy, all that. Yeah.
I love Beyond Therapy. It's one of my favorites. It's hilarious.
First time I heard the C word on stage and I flinched.
Oh, it cracks me up every time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
But, so Craig has been at me for years to bring, to get his acting or do his writing classes. And finally I gave in. And, and then before I knew it, I started writing a show. But going
Craig
back to back to Del Shores.
Yeah, back to Del Shores, yeah.
So Del wrote Southern Baptist Sissies. It really was personal for him. It really was a lot about his life. And he wanted to really explore that whole world. Because his dad was a Southern Baptist preacher and his mama was a drama teacher.
Yeah.
And he ended up being a storyteller and a playwright. So he was actually still writing the show as we were doing it. And I remember the first day when I first rehearsal at the Zephyr Theater, Newell Alexander, who's his former father-in-law, and still very much a part of his pool of actors, said, I hope you're not doing anything for the next year because this is what you'll be doing. Really? And he was right. And then Leslie Jordan walks in the door and I went, oh.
Did people just know?
This is going to be something.
And also it must have really had something in it that people identified with. I mean, I would think like the juxtaposition of religion and
sexuality.
Coming out and sexuality and all of that in one thing probably really drew people in, but also I'm sure it was maybe caused some controversy as well, I would guess.
Well, it did, but it didn't matter what faith you were raised in, or there was such a universal quality to it. People would just, it would touch something, or all these memories would come back, and it was very therapeutic and very cathartic. And we had people see the play 15, 20
That's
times.
what I heard. People would come back all the time and watch the play. Yeah.
They'd have friends come to town. They'd come to the show, and everybody in Hollywood came. Tate knew everybody. People from the B-52s, Alanis Morissette. An uncle of mine just happened to be flying through, and they came to a show one night, and they sat next to the bartender from The Love Boat.
Oh,
and they were like, "Oh my God, a celebrity!" So it was really cool, but it was a wonderful experience, and my character embraced his sexuality.
I want to read what Variety said about you. Variety said,
"Okay,
Gray turns in the most refreshing performance of the evening as the outrageous, thoroughly unapologetic queen from birth, Benny, who was practicing drag routines by the time he was 12. Transformed into country diva entertainer Iona Traylor, Benny offers dead-on, lip-sync portrayals of such artists as Dolly Parton and Winona Judd. Gray also manages to project the underlying fear of someone who is consistently insisting that he is thoroughly happy." You transformed? Did you have to like do a lot of costume changes and that kind of thing, or what?
I don't know how I get cast in these shows where people get to take a break during intermission.
Yeah.
I never do because I'm like changing. I'm always changing, get out of makeup or into makeup. I've transformed into Dolly Parton in 7 minutes. My
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay, because I exit the stage and there is a scene between Ann Walker and Leslie Jordan, who played this character named Peanut, and they're the barflies at the bar where I perform. It was supposed to be JR's up room at is an actual bar in Dallas. And I rush off stage and get out of my clothes and I put on the dolly bra and they throw on the dress. And literally, I have to put on the makeup in 7 minutes, rush through this little back alley space about this big between a theater and the fence to get to the other side of the theater to make my entrance for when the music starts, for when I do Dolly Parton. I am a seeker. One of her Thank You, Jesus songs. Yeah.
She's so great.
Yeah, you try to become Dolly Parton in 7 minutes.
Oh my God, just trying to fill those shoes at all. I mean, it's
it's not the shoes you have to fill, honey.
It's not the shoes. I have a great thing here, a clip of you doing ventriloquism as a character, as a female character, and I want to play that because it's so cool.
Now, Colonel, Grandma Jeannie was a great beauty in her time.
In her time, Nadie, but it's your time now, Lorinda. For once in his life, he's right. You're no pretty on now, Lorinda, honey. Oh, you too. Stop it. It's her lily white skin that's so lovely. No, you old coot. It's her sparkling Dixie eyes. Oh, fiddly dee.
You two are going to make me blush, I swear. Now, let's stop this foolishness and let's go to the races.
What races might they be, Lorinda? You're old fool. You know perfectly well. The Cape lady sing the song. Do-da, do-da.
The Cape Town racetrack 5 mile long.
Oh, do-da. I come on and my hair comes in.
Do-da, do-da.
I come back home and it all goes in. Oh, do-da, day. Do you turn on?
That is awesome. How?
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Thank you. You're a lovely studio audience. They're very.
They really
appreciative.
are, aren't they? Yeah.
Go ahead. You ask the question because
Howard says you should have 7 minutes to Dolly Parton should be the title of your memoirs.
Well, that'll be one of them.
Do you ever do stand-up comedy? Because it seems like you'd be good at it.
I've always thought if I do that, I'll have a stool or a chair. So I'll do like sit-down comedy so that I can just kind of ease my way back into the audience and pretend that it never happened.
Everybody really liked that.
I might do that sometime.
Yeah, I think, well, okay, go ahead.
But but I had never done ventriloquism in my life. That was Miss Deep South, Lorinda Summerford from Valdosta, Georgia. And she was a dual major in home economics and cancer research. Natural,
I like it.
Natural pairs. Yeah. And so that was my talent portion. And I had to learn ventriloquism to do it. That was my grandma and grandpa plush, friends. We never call them dummies. They're our friends.
They're your friends.
And I learned it from a book, how to do ventriloquism. There was this book from this guy in Kansas that's like self-published. And by the picture on the front of this book, on the cover, it's just him and his friend, right? I'm like, this guy lives at the 4th house down the past that yellow house and the broken down fence and that 3-legged dog. And that's where he lives. That's the address, right?
Right.
And it's very serious. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm reading, this guy's like, this is serious.
Into it.
But I know it really, yeah. And it gave me everything I needed. And it was very, very helpful. And I had such a fun time with that.
I love the way the singing was so great. That would just be so confusing. You say that thing about dancers.
Like this. Yeah. Well, I could dance with my tongue, but that's a whole other story.
All right. So, so you also sing. do you do singing like cabaret or something as well?
I've done a handful of cabarets throughout Los Angeles and in Palm Springs. It's unfortunate that the age of piano bars in Los Angeles has really waned. There used to be a handful of them, and they just sort of like one by one sort of disappeared. And so I hope that makes a resurgence, But yeah, I've done a lot of cabarets. And I'm working on putting one together, a solo cabaret. I've always collaborated.
Maybe if you need some comedians, we got some comedians for you in the cabaret.
Absolutely.
Do they have comedians in cabaret? Is that a thing?
We'll set the rules. We don't need anybody else telling us how to do it.
That's
Yeah,
right. We don't ask
absolutely.
people for permission. Okay, so now
I'm 55. I kick, I stretch. No.
do whatever the hell we
Come
want
on.
to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to show you something. I want to ask you about this or promote this. You're doing the Desert AIDS Walk on October 30th. That seems like something very important.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Desert AIDS Project, I'm with Team Sorted Lives, our team captain. I'm co-captain with Del Shores and with Palm Spring resident Art Gregory. And the three of us, for the past 5 years, we've been the number one fundraising team. Right now, we're back in number one spot. We've got almost about $17,300 that we've raised towards our $25,000 goal.
Wow.
And it benefits the Desert AIDS Project, which serves the entire Coachella Valley. And they provide full health care, mental, emotional, and of course, medical health care services to whomever. It started out specifically for HIV, AIDS individuals who needed specific care, and they still attended that. That's the core of what they do, but they're a full service medical operation. And so this benefits everything that they offer the Coachella Valley. And it's my pleasure to be a part of an exciting team that really is giving back. This is another way of giving back to the community, and it benefits everybody.
I'll put a link in the show notes. I'll put a link in the show notes for people to donate to it.
Put my personal Walker page on there.
I'll put your personal Walker page. Yeah, exactly. If I haven't already. I wanted to point this out to you. There's a guy in England who is going to run a marathon in a brain costume, and I think he may have already done it. So, yeah, I mean, running. Have you ever run a marathon?
In my mind.
In your mind. It's.
I've done a 5K.
It's
That's
pretty.
not a marathon.
I mean, that's tough. It is pretty incredible. Like things like you get, I don't know, chafing, all kinds of weird stuff, but because you're running for so long, but in a brain costume. And then I found out this is like a thing. This is there's a guy who dresses up as a rhino and does the marathon, an entire marathon.
This marathon dress as a three-dimensional animal. It's very random.
It's pretty random. So I think maybe
that's him.
That's him. Yeah. Howie Knowles. But apparently there's
cute.
more.
Why would he want to put himself on it?
I don't know. Well, you know why? Because he's a rhino advocate. He's trying to save the rhinos.
Republican in name only.
Yeah. Exactly. He's a Republican in name only. Let me. I'm sure the rhinos. I don't know if they appreciate that. So, anyway.
Right, exactly.
I just wanted to point that out to you in case maybe you wanted to, dress up as a rhino. No?
Not in the desert. Oh my God. Yeah. It's like, even in October, it's going to be October 30th in Palm Springs. And we start around 8:00 in the morning because, by 6 a.m. it's 120 degrees. Yeah. So it's can be very, very hot. So we do it and we run to the shade wherever we can find it all the way.
I know it
sounds. We get back to the park.
Sounds like trying to run on Mercury or something like that.
There is some risk involved, so we're not.
Make sure you hydrate.
So that's medication. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I want to ask you
I repurpose my sweat.
I want to ask you this because I always ask this of my guests. How do you keep yourself so upbeat and so enthusiastic through all the crap that's going on in the world, and also being a performer? What do you do? Do you have any kind of method to your madness?
Prescription drugs.
Is it prescription drugs? That's the thing that does it for you?
No.
Like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? It's all perspective. I can't change the things that frustrate me, perhaps. I can't change everything around me. I can change how I view it, how I react to it. And be an actor, not a reactor. And I have had to really remind myself. And for us, of course, that has, double meaning. So I try to pausing and taking that moment, taking those 3 breaths. And in honor of Fran Bennett, one of our voice instructors at CalArts, who used to say, breathe from your anus. And I'm like, good Lord, woman. But I understood, you need to use your full instrument. And she was a force of nature. And it just reminds me, I'm glad that you did it at the top of the show. It just resets yourself, and it just keep yourself grounded. And, I'm not upbeat all the time, just when I need to be.
Yeah, when you need to be.
It's okay.
Like
yeah.
I was looking for a Fran Bennett picture here because I do want to pay tribute to her since you mentioned her. She was one of the, great voice coaches of the United States, and also just a great actor.
Oh, yeah.
I think the last time I saw her acting was in the All in the Family, live All in the Family that they did on television.
That's right.
She was in that.
Yeah.
But also, I was lucky enough to see.
She played Archie.
She played Archie Bunker, yeah. She was actually.
She could. Wouldn't she have been a good Archie if they had?
She was in the Jeffersons. Yeah. She was in the Jeffersons.
I know.
Yeah.
The Jeffersons. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
they
did the Jeffersons.
She played the mother.
Yeah, she played the mother, right?
George's mother. Yes.
But she also, played Othello and I believe King Lear, and they were in that Shakespeare company.
She was in a an all women's Shakespeare company, and she did some amazing work. I remember we had a class one time, and we were doing some breathing exercise, and it had to do with like emotional truth and things like that. Just connecting your breath with your inner life, what's going on inside you.
Yeah.
And I remember she put her hand on like my lower abdomen and on the small of my back.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment, she had such force and power. I just bawled. It connected something with it. Yeah. I'll never forget that moment. It was very powerful, but I learned a lot from her, and she, like I said, her body, everything had such force and purpose. I learned
you used to say you're only as old as your spine. I always think about that sometimes. You're only as old as your spine. Yeah. Remember, she was like,
then I'm in trouble.
I also, I went to Shakespeare. I went to this place called Shakespeare and Company. It was a place that Kristen Linkletter used to teach, and Fran used to teach voice there, and got a little more into, their voice method. And it was just, it was startling. One of the things that was startling about it is exactly what you talk about, is that the emotions that would come up when you really breathe, And
absolutely. And I got a chance to work with another one of our CalArts, faculty at the time, Jules Aaron, who's one of the most prolific stage directors in Los Angeles. He was always directing 3, 4, 5 plays at a time.
It's incredible what he was doing.
He would start off the show, then his assistant director would direct it according to how he had established it and beyond.
Method, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he directed me in a production at in Burbank called Tiger by the Tail. And it was my first dramatic lead. And I tell you, I'll never forget that moment of just connecting emotionally to, I always thought, am I going to be able to do this? Because the comedy, I could do all that.
Yeah.
But it happened. And I was so grateful for that.
Yeah.
He was a great director.
He was a great teacher too. All right. I think we're going to have to end the show because, what'd you say?
He's still around. He's still here.
He's still around.
He's still
I was
living.
Afraid to ask because, when we had him, he was kind of like our age.
Old. Is it time to dance?
Yeah, it's time to dance. Howard Ronan says, did Joe Fury go to CalArts too? Joe Fury is self-taught. He's a self-taught actor. I don't know if you know about the famous actor Joe Fury, but he's often on this show. And he's also a big spokesman for something he calls crepe erase, which is a thing that makes your skin invisible if you have crepey skin. You can put it on, and it makes your skin absolutely transparent. It's the craziest thing.
That's a load of crepe. That's just a big load of crepe.
Yes, crepe. All right, let's do our dance party. Let's dance out of here. Are you ready to dance? Because I've got one that's kind of mellow.
Am I?
Nice. Oh yeah. All right. So
I'm gonna do chair dancing.
All right,
just
chair
in
dancing
preparation for the home.
Okay, I'm getting loosened up. All right, thanks so much for being on the show, Michael Taylor Gray, MTG. Where can people see you next? What are you doing? The musical? Are you going to be doing the musical?
I'll be in the bushes in Griffith Park in a half an hour.
Excellent. Okay.
But look for me on Facebook, Instagram, all those, but not on TikTok.
Not on TikTok? You're not doing it yet? Maybe after today. With the
I'm doing the IG, the Facebook, and the Twitter.
Right.
I don't. Yeah.
No, I do TikTok
Just
occasionally.
reach out with me.
All right, let's do
or
this.
Ask Joe where I am.
Yeah, you can always ask me. Here we go. So this is one of our favorites, and his name is Fernando Ufret, and this is him with his brother, I think. I'm guessing it's his brother. Singing a very uplifting song.
Say I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I don't want you not to say, but if you only knew how easy.
Thanks everybody for joining us today. Lunch Therapy Interview Friday. Next week, Michael is playing musical charades.
Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I already know. If my heart was torn into more than words to show you feel that your love for me is real, what would you say if I took those words away? Then you could and make things new.
What a lovely voice Fernando has.
Just by
His
saying
brother too.
I love you. La-di-da, 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 more than words. La-di-da.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week. La-di-da.